My name is James Andrews, and I am concertmaster for this evening's performance of cantatas by La Follia, Austin Baroque. I grew up in New Zealand. I started playing violin at the age of 5, and did my undergraduate in my hometown before coming to the US, where I did a master's in modern violin at the University of Oregon. And over the years, I started to become more and more drawn to period instrument performance and the expressive qualities of the Baroque violin as opposed to the modern violin. Ended up doing a second master's degree at Indiana University, where I studied specifically Baroque violin and early music history and performance. And following that, I moved to Fort Worth, Texas, where I enjoy a nice freelance career playing with various groups around Texas. And it was once I moved to Fort Worth that I started reaching out to directors of various groups, and Keith Womer, the director of La Follia, invited me down to play with this wonderful group. And I feel very privileged to be able to be concertmaster for tonight's concert. So the audience tonight will be in for a real treat, and they're going to hear something that they may not quite expect. Traditional performances of Bach's cantatas and sacred works typically feature a choir and separate soloists who sing the arias and the recitatives, and of course an orchestra. And tonight's performance by La Follia seemingly doesn't have a choir, so where is the choir? Well, some important research was done, scholarship was done in the 1980s, and it has become more and more understood to be what Bach did in his time, and that is that he had individual singers on each part who would collectively combine and become the chorus, essentially become the choir. So tonight's concert is going to reflect that. Instead of a choir, a large choir, as one would expect to see, it's actually just going to be 4 singers involved. So the concert begins with Cantata 151, which is a beautiful cantata that meditates on the coming of the Christ child, followed by a recit, an alto aria, and another recitative, and then the chorus combines finally to sing the final chorale. Following that, the audience will hear Cantata 82, which is a very familiar cantata for bass solo called Ich habe genug, I am content. And so that doesn't have the choir in it, or the chorus, so to speak. It's just the bass solo, who sings very beautiful arias. Finally, the third cantata on this evening's concert is Cantata 8, whose text begins with the line, "Dear God, when will I die?" It sounds like a very tragic text, but it's a beautiful meditation again on the idea of dying and overcoming anxieties about dying, and putting one's faith and trust in God, which features the 4 voices of the chorus again, this time in an opening chorus with the orchestra, and in the chorale at the end also the 4 voices will be heard, and in between also some lovely recits and arias.